Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today, we step back to examine one of the most symbolic and far-reaching policy changes unfolding on the African continent. It is a decision that could reshape how Africans move, trade, and connect with each other for generations to come. The announcement came from Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, Africa's youngest head of state and a leader already commanding global attention, has declared that all Africans will now be able to travel to Burkina Faso without paying visa fees. It may sound like a simple administrative adjustment, but the implications reach far beyond paperwork. This is about how Africans see themselves, how nations interact, and how the continent reclaims the spirit of unity that was once only a dream. Before we dive deeper, make sure you stay with us until the end, because what we're about to uncover is not just about travel, it's about the future direction of African politics, economics, and identity. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join a community that tells Africa's real story, not the one written by outsiders. Let us pause and reflect on this. For decades, African integration has been the subject of endless meetings, protocols, and communiques under organizations like the African Union. Leaders have spoken of Pan-Africanism and the need for a borderless continent, but the reality for ordinary travelers remained frustrating. A Ghanaian wishing to visit Senegal, or a Burkinabe hoping to attend a wedding in Kenya, often had to navigate long visa processes, pay expensive fees, and at times even seek approval from former colonial powers like France. This reality contradicted the rhetoric of unity. Burkina Faso's new decision cuts through that hypocrisy. Under the new rules, any African citizen can apply online for security clearance, and once approved, they're free to travel. No consulate fees. No colonial bottlenecks. No financial barrier between African brothers and sisters. To appreciate the significance of this, we must understand the political context. Burkina Faso, alongside Mali and Niger, recently withdrew from ECOWAS after facing sanctions in the wake of military takeovers. Critics argued that this signaled isolation. But this visa announcement suggests the opposite. Rather than closing doors, Burkina Faso is opening new ones, directly to Africans everywhere, bypassing regional politics and global interference. For the Burkinabe leadership, this is not just about tourism or economics. It is a statement of identity. Traoré's government described the move as an expression of Pan-Africanism, a way to showcase Burkinabe culture, and a step toward building confidence in a country that has been misrepresented abroad as merely a place of insecurity. In reality, Burkina Faso is now becoming a laboratory of new African ideas. Now let us consider the man behind this policy. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, at just 36 years old, symbolizes a generational change in African politics. In a continent where some leaders cling to power into their 80s and 90s, Traoré's youth stands out. But more importantly, so does his worldview. He speaks openly against neo-colonialism. He rejects foreign dictates. And he connects powerfully with Africa's youth, over 60% of the population, who are hungry for leaders who not only speak of change but embody it. Observers often compare him to Thomas Sankara, the legendary Burkinabe revolutionary of the 1980s. Like Sankara, Traoré speaks of self-reliance, resource control, and dignity. But unlike many of his peers, he has not limited himself to speeches. In less than 3 years, he has nationalized mines, launched vast agricultural programs, strengthened military cooperation with allies, and now, broken down one of the most visible barriers between African citizens, the visa wall. Of course, this move fits into a broader continental trend. Other African countries, Kenya, Rwanda, Ghana, Benin, the Gambia, have taken steps toward opening their borders to fellow Africans. The African Development Bank's Visa Openness Index shows gradual improvement. In 2016, only 20% of intra-African travel was visa-free. By 2023, it rose to 28%. Progress, yes, but still far behind regions like Europe, where 27 countries operate under full free movement. Nearly half of all African travel still requires a visa. So what makes Burkina Faso's announcement different? The difference lies in the symbolism. While others announce reforms as economic measures, Traoré frames his as a pan-African duty. He links it to history, to liberation, and even to the diaspora. His government has gone so far as to offer free citizenship to black people worldwide who wish to return to Africa. In his vision, Africa is not defined by colonial borders but by shared heritage and shared struggle. But here's where the story deepens. Traoré is not content with gestures. He has tied this visa policy to a larger project, the Alliance of Sahel States, forged with Mali and Niger. This alliance aims not only to coordinate defense but to create a new common currency, to reclaim control over natural resources, and to chart a path of independence from institutions long dominated by external powers. In this context, opening Burkina Faso's borders to Africans is not just hospitality, it is a foundation for a future federation. And we must not overlook the risks. Critics will argue that security threats remain. Burkina Faso still faces armed insurgencies in parts of its territory. Opening borders could invite new vulnerabilities. Yet for Traoré, leadership has never been about fear. His calculation seems clear. Africa cannot integrate by hiding behind barriers. Security, in his view, must come from unity and shared defense, not isolation. What does this mean for the ordinary African? Imagine a young entrepreneur in Dakar who can now fly to Ouagadougou without paying hundreds in visa fees. Imagine students, artists, and cultural workers traveling freely to exchange ideas. Imagine Africans in the diaspora, long disconnected from the continent, finding a country that welcomes them without bureaucratic walls. Each of these examples represents not just opportunity, but dignity. At its core, this decision is about rewriting Africa's story. For decades, the narrative has been one of fragmentation, division, and dependency. Traoré's announcement signals a different direction, one of openness, solidarity, and self-confidence. It is not perfect, and it will face challenges. But it sparks a conversation that Africans everywhere cannot ignore. So as we reflect on this moment, the question arises: is Burkina Faso leading Africa into a new era, or is this simply one bold experiment? History will decide. What is clear is that Ibrahim Traoré has captured the imagination of millions, not only through his defiance of foreign powers, but through his willingness to act where others have only spoken. This is not just a visa policy. It is a political philosophy. It is a reminder that African unity does not have to wait for permission from outside. And perhaps, just perhaps, it is a glimpse of the Africa that Thomas Sankara once dreamed of, now being reborn in the Sahel. So, what do you think? Will this move inspire other countries to finally open their borders to fellow Africans? Will it bring us closer to a truly united continent? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's start a powerful discussion. And if you believe in amplifying Africa's progress, don't just watch, be part of this journey. Like this video, share it widely, and subscribe so you don't miss the stories others won't tell you. Together, we can shape the narrative of an Africa that belongs to Africans. Long live Africa's unity! Long live the spirit of Pan-Africanism!